Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jaya mudhirayet. Om ajnanaatimirandasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam jena tasmai shri guruve namaha. Hare Krishna. Alrighty, so we heard nice explanation of the first verse in summary by Sanatan Prabhu, and then also by Abhiram Prabhu giving some further illumination, and from Hari Balab Prabhu. So now we will proceed to the second verse of the Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, sloka number 2. It's nice, we had one full week on the first verse. Bhagavat Saptaha, 7 days on the first verse. This is like real Bhagavat Saptaha. Everybody says many times that sometimes in the regular Bhagavat Saptahas they go over things very quickly and they just like to focus on stories that people find very attractive, like lifting Govardhan and Rukmini wedding with Krishna, Rasa Lila, Mother Yashoda Krishna binding this pastime. But it's very important that we also understand all the different tattvas, all the different siddhanta, because without that we have no basement, no strong foundation. We want to build the palace of prem, but to build however high a building you want, you have to have that deep and that strong of a foundation. So this prem, braja bhakti that we aspire for is the highest, topmost thing. So therefore we need a very deep, very strong foundation. So that's why the second verse deals with something which is like controversial in one sense. Especially for people who are reading on their smartphones. The verses.
Yeah,
you took a picture.
My eye is not so good, that's why I need closer.
So, because when we say the palace of prem, that it's very, very high, like the highest skyscraper, it's going beyond this sky. When Guru comes and gives us Bhakti Lata Beach, this is a seed, and that seed develops into the creeper of devotion, and it rises up, and it said it pierces even the material universe, goes beyond the Brahma Jyoti, beyond the Viraja river that separates material and spiritual universe. And then it even enters the spiritual world, and there it fructifies, and the fruit of prem comes, and that drops down, and then the devotee relishes that, and then gradually goes up to the spiritual world. So this is like the idea of the palace of prem. To build that creeper has to go all the way up to Goloka Vrindavan from this world. It's a very, very long way. So you need a strong foundation for a building like that. A creeper also needs support. So how will that creeper go up? It needs strength and it needs support. So the idea is that however high you want to go, you also have to be able to go very low. So that's why scripture gives negative side and the positive side. We have to know anvay vyatirek. One means what is positive and what is negative, or what is direct and what is indirect, what is apparent and what is not apparent. Both things are important. What is neti, which means what you should give up and what you should accept. So there's a lot of people who only want to take the positive things and they want to hide the negative things because they think it hurts my feelings or it hurts another person's feelings. But unless we establish this also, and usually this is established first. When you build a high building, first you need a strong, deep foundation. You can't make the building first and then put the foundation. So the foundation is like underground. This means we have to enter down into our psyche, deep down into our false ego, our anartas. We have to understand all these different things, the different layers that are like, it said the whole entire universe is like the macrocosmic form of the individual, the person, who is the microcosmic. And in the universe there are 14 talas. 7 higher planets, 7 lower planets. Within our body, physically we see that, the lower planets are below the waist. Higher planets above the waist. Brahmatal is the head. The head also represents like Shalalagram. From the head is manifest the body. Okay? But the idea is that we have to, it's like different levels of chakras also. You can't jump to the highest chakra, you have to start from the lower chakra.
Mm-hmm.
If you are stuck in the lower chakra, you have to gradually rise it up. It's like rising the Kundalini energy. Okay? So the idea is that to establish the foundation, we have to excavate and we have to put in the very strong foundational blocks and the pillars. It's like the pillars of the palace go up, the pillars of the palace must go down also. So what are those things that are down? We have to like enter our heart, enter our different false ego. Because the real ego is higher, the real consciousness. But what is the lower consciousness? We should identify within ourselves what are all the lower forms of consciousness within us, which we need to take stock of. These are there, we cannot deny their presence. So in order to, it's like when we start to dig, many serpents may come up and be disturbed from their holes or their caves. We may have to come across many different violent things. We have to face those things. We cannot hide and run away from them. So when we're digging down in our heart, we should look, what are these things that are buried in my heart that I'm very attached to? And you cannot have everything. It's like you can choose. You want Krishna or you want your false ego. Why are you smiling so much? You know where I'm going.
It's in relation to a story which we write.
You know what direction I'm going. But this is important for us to understand.
I agree. This is good.
Do we want to... People, they want God and they want Maya at the same time. That I want my material nature. I want to have everything I want, all my sense gratification. I want to be able to live however I want. And I also want God. This is one type of person. Another type of person gives up God completely and I'll just live in Maya as much as possible. They only want to live down. But the jiva's nature is tatashta. So we have to choose. We want the lower path or the higher path. So to establish the higher path, we need to go into the lower path and understand it and start to root it out.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Krishna told Arjuna, go and find me something useless. Okay? And Arjuna said, okay. Krishna said, go out in the world, find me something useless and bring it back to me by the end of the day. So Arjuna searched for everything and he thought, is this useless, is that useless? He would think, and he could not find anything useless. So then finally, towards the end of the day, he was returning back to Krishna hopeless. Oh, I didn't find anything. And he saw in the distance as he was walking, one person passing a stool. You heard the story? It's not done. Okay? So then that person left, then Arjuna thought, okay, I'll take this to Krishna. Stool is useless. Okay? So then Arjuna, he didn't want to touch it directly, So he thought, okay, I need to anyhow arrange something. It's very gross, He's like, smells bad, flies are already coming. So he arranged something to try and collect it. And as he was approaching the stool said, hey, what are you doing? Don't touch me. You're like...
In Sanskrit.
Yeah, in Sanskrit the stool said.
The stool was Sanskrit.
Yeah, it was from the very wise person.
Good arrangement.
So the stool was saying, don't touch me, you're a very dirty person. You're a very bad, smelly person. So he said, what? I am Arjuna, you don't know who I am? I myself am defeating all the Kauravas. I killed Bhishma, Drona, Karna, not Drona I think, Drona also, I don't remember. So anyhow, he said, I'm such a powerful warrior, everyone is respecting me, I'm like a king. How come your stool and you're telling me that I am like dirty? He said, yes, you are dirty. Arjuna said, you are dirty, your stool. So, okay, so what is, how to understand this? So then he said, okay, anyhow, you are some powerful stool because you're talking. So I'll listen to you. So tell me what you want to tell me. Okay? Maybe like there's some magical deity there who's empowering the stool, the sound to come from the stool. So Arjuna said, okay, you tell me what you want to tell me. Obviously, you have some chip on your shoulder, You have something you want to say.
Yeah.
So the stool said, okay, what I was before and what I am now. I am very ugly now. No one wants me. Everyone is rejecting me. Everything thinks I'm useless. And you came here to collect me. Why? Why did you come? Arjuna said, oh, Krishna told me to go find something useless. So I thought I couldn't find anything. So I thought, now I found the stool. I'll take that back to Krishna. So he said, yeah, you see, this is your nature. I am stool, so everyone is rejecting me. But how did I become stool? He said, in my past manifestation, my past avatar, I was like in a sweet shop and I was very nice rasgullas. Paneer with sugar juice, boiled, very nice. It's like heavenly sweet. And some dirty humans took me and they ate me and then they passed me out and I became stool. So by the association of these people, I became rejected and impure and horrible thing. So therefore, you are bad or I am bad. So Arjuna became like a little bit sober and he returned to Krishna and Krishna asked, what did you bring? You brought anything for me? What that is useless? Arjuna said, I only brought myself. Oh Krishna, I am useless. I am so puffed up. So much false ego. I think I am Krishna's great bhakta. And I have the power to go and take and say this is useless, that is useless, and I'll go and collect stool and bring it to you. But actually this is, I am more fallen, I am more low. So the danger is there that devotees or anyone can, most people actually, they have these things within them that they don't want to accept exists. And they only want to think of themselves as these beautiful people, beautiful, good persons.
For devotees. Like you told a couple of classes ago that when you have knowledge, you're more responsible, and if you
Gyan pap is worse than agyan pap. So if you have knowledge and you do sin, it's worse than without knowledge doing sin. Otherwise, like animals, they're not responsible. So the point is that, especially for devotees, but for ordinary people as well, that if we want to mature spiritually, we cannot avoid first acknowledging those things which are within us, which are unfavorable or undesirable, which are anartas. Anartas means that thing which is undesirable, which keeps us away from arta, which is like the highest wealth. So those things are very detrimental to our spiritual advancement. So we have to excavate these things, look within us to start building that foundation for the palace of Prem. Seeing all those different false egos. So for each person they'll have different false egos. So it's an individual process. We have to look within ourselves. What am I attached to that is keeping me away from Krishna? So many things can be there, but we have to start identifying these and be willing to root them out. We have to remove something and then establish strong pillars. What are the strong pillars? Guru Nishtha and Guru Bhakti. Loyalty to Guru is the backbone of Bhakti. Ebe jas kusuk tribhuvan, I only want to spread the glories of my Gurudev. I only want to follow what is the dharma of my Gurudev, what is the dhara, his conception. That's why Swami Prabhupada said, we will follow the Gita, we don't follow anything else. We follow the Bhagavatam. We don't follow so much mundane literature and mundane philosophy. We are not a man cannot be the master of many, you cannot be the slave of many masters. You pick who you want to worship and serve. You cannot serve Gurudev and Krishna at the same time serve some mundane philosophy, some mundane ideology. You have to choose. So you have to take something out which is unfavorable and establish the strong pillar, the strong support beams, that this is my Gurudev's dhara, this is my Gurudev's conception. I will bring his words into my heart, the sastra into my heart, and I will follow that, do or die. I will be ready to give up my life to protect the dhara of Srila Gurudev. We need to become strong like this. Then on that strong pillar, then our bhakti can develop. So in the first, we're learning this verse now, and it teaches us, the very first words are teaching us what is there to be rejected completely. That means what is the negative aspect that we have to be ready to give up completely. I talked to Prabhuji 2-3 days ago in his room, and I was saying, many people think, whatever is there in the material world, it will be there somehow in the spiritual world in one way or another. He said, this is a false idea. He said, not everything in the material world, it's like, this is part of the absolute reality. The material universes are one small part of Brahma Jyoti in that area of space. Brahma Jyoti is all the light that's manifesting through space. And one small area is covered by Mahat Tattva and is very dark and sinful. So not all those bad things are going to be present in the spiritual world. So if you're attached to some people say people will be offended, but we have to say it, they are saying I am a Vaishnav, but at the same time I am promoting that I am gay, I am lesbian Vaishnav. So we are not making an association like I am a straight Vaishnav, but they have association called Galva, Gay and Lesbian Vaishnav Association. So how can you be promoting Vaishnavism and also that I have this lower nature?
Rasik, who of our acharyas told, and if it told, I forgot, that next to word Vaishnav you can put Shudra Vaishnav or
many are other acharyas. Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Gopal Bhatt Goswami said in his Satguru Sartadipaka, that if someone is a Vaishnav, they're not it's not contaminated by he is a Sudra, he is a homosexual, he is this or that. So that does not define the person. If you are a Vaishnav, you are a Vaishnav. You may have a lower nature. You may have that a homosexual nature, lesbian nature, straight nature, any nature. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
but don't glorify it. That's why Bhagavatam says the root cause of material attachment and engagement in material nature is that the attachment between like one body and another body, male and male, female, doesn't matter. Your bondage is because of this attachment, and it's because you have attachment to yourself, selfish attachment, and you think whatever is going to please my senses, then I'll develop a bond of attachment with them. So this is all illusion. So if you are Vaishnav, Gurudev gave you Diksha, Mantra, everything. So why are you, people have parades now, Gay and Vaishnav Lesbian Association parade. So this is complete Maya, because we are not this. Mahaprabhu said, Naham Vipro Napi Vaishyana Shudra. We are not Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, Grihastha, Brahmachari, Sannyasi, anything. We are only Gopi Bhartu Parakamali Dhasadasanandas. So you can't be gay and lesbian Gopi. You are Gopi, you are Vaishnav. Simple. Whatever is your lower nature, you accept. You cannot immediately destroy that. But you should know that this is not something to be, I am having a pride parade. Why should I be proud of the lower nature? It's not that, and then people say that, oh, when you are criticizing this, Galva, that you are criticizing the devotees. How is that possible? Because that means they think that the devotees are gay or lesbian. But they are Vaishnav. That Jivera Swarup hoy Krishnera Nityadhas, Krishnera Tathashta Shakti Bed Abed Prakash. The nature of the Jiva is the eternal, pure servant of Krishna. There's no contamination there. But there's Naimatika Dharma and Nitya Dharma. Correct? Naimatika Dharma means the external covering of false ego and all the different anarthas that comes upon, which starts with Swarup Brahm. The Swarup Brahm is the first anartha, and that means misidentification of the self. So it means if you identify yourself as a man or a woman, I'm a black man or a white man. White man says something bad about black people and I am angry and ready to kill him. Black people say something bad about white people and the white people are angry and ready to kill them. Americans against Russians, Russians against Chinese. This is all part of the Dharma Projita Kaitava. This is all part of the cheating philosophies. And we have to shed that. This is what we have to excavate out of our nature if we want to transcend and go up higher into the spiritual identity. That you cannot be a pure soul and a contaminated soul at the same time. You cannot be a Baddha Jeev, you cannot be a Mukta Jeev at the same time. You have to choose. I want to be conditioned or I want to be liberated. So if we want to be liberated, then all those things which are before Jiva, Baddha Jeev, whatever is within that conditionment, Baddha means conditioned Jiva. So what is your conditioning? I am a woman, so I'm a feminist. I am a man, so I hate women. This is all bogus. We have to be faithful to Guru Vani and Sastra Vani. Sastra says this, I accept this. Whether I am man, woman, gay, straight, doesn't matter. That actually if you are straight and attached to women, so much always thinking about women and wanting to enjoy lusty interaction, this is like even more difficult to escape from. So it's not that one is higher or lesser than the other. This is all the forms that we have to understand why the stool story is given. That Krishna gives the story of the stool to teach Arjuna that you are attached to what you think you are, but this is actually like stool. This is a transformation of the material energy which is ultimately leading down to very low and impure things. Your body itself, if your body is producing stool, that is what you're creating. Every day you're eating such nice things and creating stool. So you are like the father of stool every day.
Worse than stool because
So many other things also.
so good.
Stool, cow stool can be so nice, used for so many things and very pure. But human stool, what is it for? It's good for fertilizing actually.
No, I don't think so.
But the point is not that. The point is that you are creating that. So what is it in you that is creating that lower thing, that dirty thing? That is something in your own nature. That is, and it's part of karma, and it's part of Trisargo Mirsa, the illusory state of life where we think what we are is we identify as that which is keeping us in prison. We identify with the walls of our prison as ourself. This is me. This is who I am. I am a woman, and this state of being a man or state of being a woman, this is like the stool of Maya covering over the Atma. This is the Darpana Marjanam. We have to cleanse away this stool which is covering the mirror of the heart. Until we cleanse away that dust, which is soil, right? Something which is material nature covering over, which is like an anartha. Until we clean that, then we cannot see who we truly are. So Swarup Brahm is the first anartha. Misidentification of the self. That I think what I am not. We have to come to the platform that I am actually part and parcel of Shri Krishna. Aham Brahmasmi. And therefore I will inquire, what is spirit and what is my nature? How am I the infinitesimal spirit, part and parcel of God? How can I serve God and be established in my dharma? This is the real dharma. So now that's why we have to learn this verse very carefully. Because we'll get into it one by one. But we have to be ready to go through that trial and tribulation. When we go on the path of the spiritual quest, when we accept that, many people refuse it, but when we accept that path, we come first to the stage of trial and tribulation. Difficulty and many obstacles are there. Those are represented by Kleshagni. The first leaf of Bhakti creeper, it's like Kleshagni, means many types of suffering. Klesh means suffering and Agni means the fire. So when we come into the path of Bhakti, then it's like we come into the fire of suffering. That means all the different trials we have to go through. And what are those trials? It means we have to face the monsters within us and defeat them. Defeat this lower nature and then become transcendental. Become transcendent to them. Then we can become mukta. So the problem is that the vast majority of all teaching, of all philosophy, of all religion is only teaching you how you can enjoy in this body, how you can exploit others, and anyhow try to become like the master of this world. And this is the essence of Deha Mamata Buddhi. I and mine, the body, I am the body, what is in relation to the body is mine. I will try to expand the domain of my influence. So therefore Bhagavatam says, Dharma Projita Kaitava. All these so-called dharma that people are teaching is cheating people. Because people ultimately they want to be cheated. So how to be free of that? Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. Nirmatsaranam, that the Bhagavatam is called the Paramahamsa Sanghita. Paramahamsa Sanghita means Sanghita is like the highest type of knowledge in scripture. And Paramahamsa means that person who is completely separate from this world, completely transcendental. Like a swan, they can separate milk from water. It means they can separate what is valuable from what is worthy to be put aside. The Paramahamsa means Parama, the topmost, Hamsa, swan-like person. And the example of a swan is given that what is special about the swan? Whenever we talk about the swan or the Vaishnava being like a swan, it means they have discrimination. And this is a very bad word now. To say discrimination in the West, it's like, that's a bad person.
Offensive.
It's offensive.
Yeah.
To discriminate is offensive. What is good or what is bad, then you are saying this is bad, then you are offending me. And you are offending what I am believing in, then I will fight with you. But the real sage and the real saintly person, his nature is very, essence of his nature is that he has discrimination. What is Bhagavan and what is Maya? What is the Jiva? What is Anartha? He has all Tattva Siddhanta and complete, the topmost discrimination. And this verse is showing what is the real need for discrimination. Dharma projita kaitava. It says everything else is worthy of being rejected. Except for this Bhagavatam. Whatever is the Bhagavad Dharma, that same Bhagavad Dharma is present in Gita, it's present in the Veda Vedanta, but you have to learn to discriminate what is truth and what is false. What is proper and what is rejectable. So Paramahamsa Sanhitam, this means Paramo Nirmatsaranam Satam. So we're doing the first line. So Kaitava means cheating, Projita means it's worthy of being rejected. And Dharma means real, it means actually here it's saying false dharma, false religiosity, false philosophies, false teachings, false education. The Bhagavatam completely rejects it. Why? Because it is the Paramo Nirmatsaranam, it is 100% pure, Shuddha. And if you are Shuddha, it means there's no place for Tama. No place for darkness. Where there is complete light, there's no room for darkness. So the real devotees, Satam, who are 100% pure in heart, they follow this highest dharma, which is completely against the lower cheating religions. And we'll study this in the purports of the Acharyas. What is the meaning of all these different cheating religions and cheating philosophies, cheating gurus, cheating teachers? It's very important to learn. So, Paramo Nirmatsaram, it means the Paramahamsa Sangita. That means the swan-like souls who are transcendental to material nature, they have discernment. They know what is proper and what is improper, what is right to do, what is wrong to do. And they will follow that and they will discriminate. So non-discrimination, to the greatest extent, that is Mayavad. Everything is one, we are all God, everything is perfect, eat, sleep and be merry. Okay? So it's not that we are hurtful or hateful, but we have to know what is asat and what is sat. So the very first instruction you get when Prabhuji comes to the temple, first instruction he gave me is you learn the whole Prahlad Charitra, at least like 80-90 verses, especially the teachings to the students. The whole thing is all about how to cut through Maya, how to cut through the illusion that, oh, I am this body and I am attached to samsara life, grihastha life, all these different things. You have to cut through it. Swami Maharaj went to the West, yeah, that's the verse. He said, Nirvashesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine. He went to liberate the Western world from the bondage of Nirvashes and Shunyavad, impersonalism and voidism. And non-discrimination is impersonalism and voidism. I'll give you an example. Everyone likes to discriminate, but they want to say that some is good and some is bad, that has some application.
It's another one form, yeah?
Okay, so example. If you cannot discriminate, it means you cannot choose who is your friend, who is your enemy. You cannot choose who is your partner or who is not your partner. You cannot choose who is your wife or husband. That is discrimination. Oh, I want to have relation with this person. I don't want to have relation with that person. So how can it be that non-discrimination is good? We want to associate with the higher people who will uplift us, and we want to give up association with those who will degrade us. So that's why we need discrimination. That's why Prabhuji said so many times when we come to the temple, Asat Sangatyag E Vaishnavachar. What is the practice or the character or the behavior of a Vaishnava? The first principle, Asat Sangatyag E Vaishnavachar, means give up all bad association. That's discrimination. Without discrimination, you can't know what to give up and what to accept. Stri Sangi Eka Sadhu Abhakta Hinachar. A bhakta, those who are completely against Krishna, like the Kuyogis we heard about yesterday. Those who don't know what is the proper conduct, proper religious life. Those who are Stri Sangi, who are always attached to sense gratification with ladies or with men. Give up all these type of people because they will drag you down. So therefore, this is a very harsh thing. People don't want to hear this. Why are you saying that this is at satsanga? You are criticizing me. We are not criticizing you. We are telling you should also become sat. Come to the Dham, come to sadhus. Prahlad Maharaj told Hiranyakashipu, Tato vanam gato harit ashrayata. Therefore go to the forest, take shelter of the sadhus and Sri Hari. Give up this grihameda andakupam. You are now in the well pit of Maya, where all the different serpents are biting you, which is all these like family members, relatives, friends. They're all trying to enjoy you in the name of love and affection. It's like they're trying to rip you limb from limb, just to try to enjoy and to extract as much sense gratification out of you as possible, and then they'll throw you out in the garbage. If they had love for you, then as soon as you're dead 1 minute, they throw you in the fire or they put you in the grave. Where's their love? In 2-3 days they forget about you and they're getting new lovers. Where's the love and affection? So therefore we have to understand what is proper and what is improper, what is satsanga, what is asatsanga. And you are not discriminating against the Atma. We are telling the Atma that please, you are now stuck in asat. Asat means what is not ultimately true or real. You are trapped in this and you should get out of it. So I am showing you the way. But when you say that, oh, you are criticizing me because you are saying this is asat, I am not criticizing you. The soul is sat. Sandini, Samvit, the soul has Ladini, all these three things are within the soul, but now you are in the prison of Maya. So when I am criticizing this prison house, which may be your body of a man or body of a woman, and all your nartas and all your, I am this person, that person, everything in relation to that, samsara develops from self-identification with the body, and then with everything in relation with the body, the family, the nation, the world. This is all one type of so we have to give up all these different things and let people know it's not that we are being hateful towards them. We are trying to show them the proper path to their own benefit. Ultimate compassion means you are trying to help other people, not that you're trying to make them feel good. Compassion isn't making people feel good. Compassion is helping them when they're in a distressful condition, when they are suffering. So what are they suffering from? They're in the material energy where they're suffering from tritap, adhyatmik, adhidaivik, and adhibautik. Suffering of their own mind, from others, from nature. They're suffering. So to give them a band-aid on cancer, it won't cure them. Instead you say, I know how to cure you, I have a cure. But making you feel good about your contaminated self isn't going to be the cure. Telling you that yes, you should have a pride parade about that I am this, I am that, straight or anything. You should not be proud of that. Now in Canada they have 1 month pride in all the offices. You have to follow 1 month pride of this, pride of that. That I am straight, I am homosexual. What is this to be proud of? If you're straight, it's actually a bad thing. They say you're like a bad person. If you're straight, it's a bad thing. But if you're gay, then you say we should have 1 month pride celebration. And in the streets they want to dance and kiss each other. So what is this? This is the lifestyle of pigs and dogs. So we want to be glorifying that you are a pig and stool, or we want to help them learn that, okay, that you are suffering here, let us come out. You are not the pig, you are not the stool, you are in this illusion. This is like the Matrix. You are slave of material nature. Krishna says, Yantra Rudranimai, you are stuck on the machine of material nature where you are being made to suffer like a slave because of your disobedience. So you have to become obedient, then you can give up the disobedience. But you want to be disobedient and to get divine nectar, but you can't have both. That's why when Indra made an offense, he came and became a pig. Do you know that story? So he became a pig.
Did he make an offense?
He was, his guru. He went and he tried to enjoy his guru's wife and was criticizing so many nonsense things. So he became a pig, and he had piglets and wife, and he was enjoying so nicely eating stool and having sex with one pig after another pig. But what is his real position? He is Indra, the king of heaven, always tasting nectar, always so many beautiful damsels. But he forgot his higher nature, and he became absorbed in the identification of a pig. But he is not a pig. So when Brahma came after some time, his penance was complete. He said, you are not a pig, you are Indra. He said, no, I want to stay here. Why are you telling me that this is bad? You are criticizing my wife, my family, my way of life, my stool, everything. Stop criticizing me. And then Brahma said, no, you wake up. You're a fool. You are not a pig. You don't know what is the nature of heaven and the enjoyment there. But the pig was then he actually ran towards Brahma and tried to hurt him like a boar, like sometimes big pigs, like a boar. They're very dangerous, very powerful. And they chase you and they can kill you. They're very strong. So Brahma saw this, okay, what is this crazy guy doing? So then he went and he killed his wife and he killed his children.
No problem.
So this is compassion. How is it that Brahma is killing the piglets and the pig of Indra in the pig form? What is the answer?
Explain. Do you want to explain?
Yeah, sure. I don't know. What can we understand?
I think it was he failed actually with his tribe. We know this.
Brahma.
Yeah, he failed because Indra not disturbed long time. He told, okay, anyhow I rearrange another.
Yeah, so Indra said, okay, you killed one pig, I will go and find another pig.
But
and I will mate very nicely with her.
Yeah, even Brahma, this try is failed, but he like sadhu, he slowly taking away from you some, because you cannot by yourself open your hands from attached to some device, and then somehow they destroy it. That it's necessary in
some
the
shock.
beginning. Yeah.
Oh, here's a good example. They say if you want to catch a monkey, how do you catch a monkey?
In the pot you put.
Okay. So the story is, if you want to catch a monkey, do you know Sanatan Prabhu? Okay, if you want to catch a monkey,
Cool stuff.
okay,
Really cool.
you take a pot with a small hole, okay, and you put very nice sweets and everything inside it, like mango and banana, all the things monkeys like. but it's small, so that to get their hand inside it, the hole is small. So to get their hand inside, they have to put it together, crunch it together, and stick it inside. But what happens when they stick it inside, then they take hold of what they want to eat, like the mango or the nice jackfruit or fruit or anything. And then when they try to pull it out, their hand is stuck. But they won't give up the fruit to escape. So they're holding it, trying to pull it out, and then the person who's trying to catch the monkey will come right up and take the monkey, put it in a bag and carry it away. So the point is that we become so attached to the things that are causing us bondage. So this is the illusory state of life. So when Brahma killed the pig and the piglets, is this violence? But Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Nainam chidanti sastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, na chainam kledyanteopo, na sosyati maruta. The soul cannot be touched by any weapon, cannot be burnt by any fire, cannot be drowned in any water, cannot be dried out by any type of wind. You cannot touch the soul by anything material. So he's not killing the pig and the piglet. They are cycling in millions of lives in the different species of life. So now Brahma is killing them. He's just going up. They're going up to another species. He's making them like human or maybe even demigod. Go ahead.
Quickly, another example that more life bringing in Katha. So even I'm suffering in my family life, and I'm deeply realized that this path not for me deeply. Still, I am not able to give up my wife. So what Prabhuji did, he made strategy. He took her away. He made her sick and sending away to Russia. And when you already doesn't have something near to you, to what you're attached, distance helping. That's why Brahma killing his family. That he taking distance. And distance, usually when you distance from, when your senses taken away from object, then already after some time is healing, we know this. Then it was strategy of Brahma. Indra a little bit stupid, he said no problem.
I will make another pig. So then Brahma thought he's like hitting his foreheads. With, like they say, do, like head smack.
Do.
So Brahma is like, 4 different heads, head smack, same time.
He has 4 hands?
8 hands. Right? No, I don't know. Maybe only 2 hands.
Maybe only 2.
Okay, anyhow, he's like, what can I do? Then he took this common I think only 2 hands. No problem. Like 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. 4 head smack. Okay, so then he thought, okay, what can I do? Then he took his Ganga water in his kamandula. Whenever there's like some very needy moment, it's like his potion, magic potion. That this is from when Bamandev put his foot pierced the hole in the covering of the universe, and the Ganga came through, which is in the spiritual, like the cosmic ocean. And he pierced the covering of the universe, which is like, the universe is like an egg, and it's floating in the cosmic ocean. And Karunadakshay Vishnu is resting there, outside the universes. And when he pierced the hole, then the Ganga came through. You know the story? So then Brahma collected that in a pot, and he thought this is a very special, like, talisman. So whenever he needs some special force, he used some of this. So then he put some of this on Indra's head, and he said, wake up, through this Ganga. And he woke up at that time. So that's why Prahlad Maharaj's teachings are very interesting here, okay? Prahlad Maharaj teaches to his father. He tried to give intelligent advice to his father. His father became very angry. Oh, who you think you are? Some big pandit? I am the ruler of the entire universe, and you are some stupid boy? You think you can tell me I'm your father also? Who you think you are telling my enemy I should worship my enemy? He killed my brother, why should I worship him? So he rejected his teachings, and he wanted to even kill him. His father, Gurudev says that Prahlad is like, the son is like the apple of the father's eye. Means the dearmost object. That the son they consider more important than their own selves. They're ready to give their life for their son. But why? Because they want to control their son. They think they will follow my path, they will glorify me, they will continue my dynasty, and everyone will glorify me. So as soon as you disturb their sense gratification, then they will quickly become your enemy. So Prahlad Maharaj, he didn't follow his stupid father's advice. He taught him. His father said, what have you learned in school? He said, no, I've only learned about Vishnu and Vishnu's glories and how to worship him. And his father said, rascal. And then he wanted to kill him. So therefore Prahlad Maharaj said to the schoolboys, when he said the whole 7th chapter of the 5th canto, fifth chapter or seventh of the seventh canto. It's blood teaching to the schoolboys and about how he met Narad, all these things. But then when Hiranyakashipu called Sanda and Amarka, which represent the monkey and the bull, guru, which is also why it's important to talk about this, because we're talking about Dharma Projita. So the gurus of Prahlad Maharaj, who are Sanda and Amarka, they were cheating gurus. And they represented Sanda and Amarka. Sanda is like a bull and a mark, and they're always very lusty, bull and monkey. And they always want to enjoy in different ways. And they're teaching only this, how to enjoy dharmartha kama moksha. How to extract the most enjoyment out of existence. And the problem when you go down that path is that it's unrestricted sense gratification only leads you further and further down towards a hellish condition of life. That is what it does. You have to have some restriction, otherwise you just become like an animal. And you're just suffering in competition with everyone else. So then Hiranyakashipu said, did they teach you this? All these things you've been telling me. Worship God, worship Vishnu, go to Vrindavan, give up family life. Prahlad Maharaj speaks like against family life for 20-30 slokas. Like he's saying all these men, they're just like slaves in the hand of prostitutes. And they're dancing puppets. Whatever the women are telling them, that they'll follow. Because they are so lusty. So this is the very lusty people, men especially, they like to become like hard, strong feminists. Why? Because they think, oh, women will like me and they will let me enjoy as much as possible. They become slaves in the hands of attractive women. And then he says, what is that? It says like, Tulsi Devi says in the Brahmanda Puran, that you can purify a person who has made many sins. But you can never purify a man who is always under the control of a woman. That person can never be made pure. Until they get rid of that attachment. That they are conquered by Maya in the form of woman. That's why Krishna says, Yopayati shaner Maya, yoshid deva avrinimritam, tvamik mrityam, death. Trina kupam ivavritam. That Krishna said, I created in material nature the form of woman. Yopayati shaner Maya, yoshid deva vinirmitam. Deva means Krishna, God. Vinirmitam, he created what? Yoshid, form of the woman. How? Yopayati shaner Maya, by his Maya, material energy, he created this form. Why? Just to be the very form of death for the soul. So when I came to the Mat, Pruti said immediately, you study Prahlad Shrita, you learn all these verses. Why? Now we hate women? No, we don't hate. We hate what is... Prabhupada also said, we don't hate Maya also. Maya is our mother. But you cannot have your mother on your lap and a prostitute. You cannot sit on the same bed with a prostitute and your mother. So Maya, she will see, if they are not treating me like mother with respect, then she will become like Kali and she will cut off their heads. How does she cut off their head? Mrityum. Mrityu means death. So Kali Mata, when you see Kali with the tongue out and the arms, and her skirt is legs or arms of the people she has killed, and the necklaces of heads of demons or people like demonic people, and otherwise she is naked. This is representing material nature in the fierce aspect. Material nature is like mother, loving and kind, but she can also be like demoness. Why? To kill the demons. That Kali appeared because she had to kill a demon that was very powerful that the demigods could not defeat. So they prayed to Shiva, like, we need some powerful force that can defeat this personality. That's another story. We can get into the appearance of Kali Mat. But when she appeared, she began like in a very fierce form. And she is the fierce side of mother, the nature, Maya, which is killing, mrityum. Why? Because that thing which is the embodiment of our desire to enjoy as the Purush, like I want to enjoy everything and dominate and be the controller. Then God creates the form of woman so that tendency in the jiva, that anartha in the jiva, Swarup Brahm, Asat Trishna. From Swarup Brahm comes Asat Trishna. Swarup Brahm means misidentification of the self. Asat Trishna is the second obstacle, anartha.
Like result of...
Yeah, so what does it means? I have deep, powerful thirst. Trishna means thirst. For asat, that which is false. So when you are thinking that like I want to be God and I want to enjoy everything like God, then God creates the form of a woman or a man for a woman. But originally it's like the creation is given like this. The Purush spirit is given as the masculine energy. And when we come into this world, we want to be Purush. So like we are first receiving the form of a man. That's why from man comes woman. That's why we say mankind, not womankind. Because God first creates man. Because when we are going away from God, when our sinful nature, then we want to become Purush, like Krishna, like God, like the ultimate supreme personality of God, who is Krishna, masculine, male. And we want to be Krishna. I want to be Krishna. So then He sends us into Maya, gives you the form of the man, and He creates the form of woman. Yopayati shaner Maya, yoshadevan Maya. And then that form of the woman is the cause of your death. How? Tvam ikshitatmana mrityum trinakupam ivavritam. That she is like a beautiful, externally very beautiful and attractive, but it's like a grass-covered well. It said like if you're walking along the road in a forest, you know, like how they make traps, right? How do they make a trap? They cover something, like they make a deep pit, and they cover it over with like some, they'll take some different like vines or something, right? And they'll make some lattice. And then they'll cover it over, and so they put like a nice grass and flowers, and they make it look like normal place to walk. So the form of the woman for the man is very attractive. It looks very attractive, and it's like your asat trishna, your thirst for something which is false, is pulling you towards enjoying that. And that's why Prahlad Maharaj said that the hands are pulling you like a prostitute or like a wife to enjoy things that are nice to touch. And that's why in the Bhagavatam it said, like when the elephant is captured by wanting to touch the she-elephant. So they make a pit, they lure the male elephant into the pit by the she-elephant, and then he falls in it, and then he becomes weak, and they control him. So the desire to touch nice things, that desire to touch, or that desire to see beautiful things, that desire to taste things, the desire to hear beautiful sounds, to smell beautiful things, these are all like different wives, Prahlad Maharaj said. They're all like different wives pulling the jiva in all these different directions, who is like a husband who has many wives, always trying to enjoy with him. Come to my room, come to my room. You can imagine, you have 20 wives, and at every moment they all want to have sex with you. In different places. So it's like, in one place you can imagine, okay, no problem.
And for a long time.
But they all want to be in different, so your sense of touch is pulling you one direction, your vision is one direction, your genitals, so many different desires all pulling you in different directions. And this is like, you wanted that, you wanted to be like God, now you take care of it. That's why Bhaktisiddhanta said in Dushta Mantumi Krishna, what type of Vaishnav you think you are? Dushta Manatumi Krishna, what type of Vaishnav you are? You are making a big show of I am a great sadhu, but in your heart you are always thinking only about Kanaka Kamini Pratishta Bhagini Charya Chaya Seto Vaishnav, say Anashakta, say Shuddha Vaishnav. That who is a real pure devotee, no desire for Kanaka, which is meaning like gold, which is one also kind of enjoyment. Because by gold then we can get women and prestige. That said, if you are a very, very wealthy person, naturally everyone will think about you and want to be like you, because they want to have wealth like that. And naturally many women, beautiful, attractive women will come behind you. You look at people like Tiger Woods, the most famous golfer, right? And he became slandered all over the world because so many attractive women were coming behind him, because he had like $1 billion, because he was the best sportsman in that field. So all the women were trying to make relationship with him, and therefore what can he do is like, man is like butter, woman is like fire. So he melted, and he had relations with other people. He had committed adultery, and then everyone began to criticize him. But that means Kanaka Kamini, he became wealthy. That led to Kamini and Pratishta.
Yeah. And
this is like a tiger devouring your very soul. So how you are saying you are Vaishnava, but you have all these things also? So therefore he said, Dushta Manatumi Krishna, what type of Vaishnava are you? The point is that we have to identify this and then try to go beyond it. So back to Prahlad Maharaj. That Prahlad Maharaj said, they are not giving me these instructions because they are like playthings in the hand of women. Sanda and Amarka, his teachers, they are dharma projita kahitava. Reject them. Bhagavatam rejects Sanda and Amarka. They are not the real gurus. The Prahlad Maharaj said, Narad Rishi is my guru, and Narad Rishi is really respecting women. People in this world, they think, oh, you are those who may give real teachings, that they are like mistreating or hurting people's feelings. But who is the person who is doing these things? That person who is so lusty, he cannot control the senses, but he is trying to show that I am a great devotee. And then he secretly engages in all his illicit activities. Or if he tries to restrict his nature, then it's said that this is a great type of cheater. Krishna says that this is a kapa, hypocrite. And he is trying to control, but he has so much desire. So he takes all these bad things about their nature here, and he becomes like very hateful, because from anger develops hate. And so he is lusty, and from lust develops anger. Kama esha krodesha rajaguna samudbhava. That lust develops and is described to be the greatest, all-devouring enemy of the living entity. In Bhagavad Gita, said that Kam is the greatest enemy. It's like all-devouring fire. So from Kam, if you cannot satisfy your lust, then anger develops, krodh. So the people who are always hurting others, it's not because they have some like intelligent philosophy or something from scripture or some teaching. Even they can hear anything, they're not disturbed. I can preach hateful things to a realized soul for endless time. It won't make them a hateful person. But nowadays people say, oh, you preach some strong verse from Shastra, it means you're contaminating everyone. But if a person is very lusty and they restrict that and become very angry, and then they'll end up abusing or raping or mistreating. But Narad Rishi was the real guru. Sanda and Amarka are demons. Like Hiranyakashipu was a demon. He was always, or Ravan was a demon. He was always stealing women and trying to enjoy them and make them like one harem. So he was mistreating women. But externally he was giving so many gifts, speaking sweetly about them, worshipping them, bathing their feet, taking their charnamrita. Why? Because he is controlled by that. And that led to his death. How did Ravan die? Because he wanted to enjoy and steal Sita, and that Sita became the form of death for Ravan. And the same goes for all the different demons. But Narad Rishi, he protected the mother of Prahlad Maharaj, Kayadu. And she stayed in his ashram for 60,000 years. Kayadu never complained that Narad Rishi is speaking bad things to me, that he is being hateful to me, he is like discriminating against me. That he spoke to her for 60,000 years. That means all Shastra came. That means also these different things in Shastra that speak about ladies in one way. And Prahlad Maharaj says, about my own mother, Prahlad Maharaj said, ladies are less intelligent, and therefore she has forgotten everything, because also too much attachment was there for her husband. So she forgot. Even Prahlad Maharaj says this, but he's not hating his mother. He has affection for his mother. And Narad Rishi, she was protected in his ashram for 60,000 years. Anyone who wanted to harm her, even Indra came and tried to steal her away. He wanted to kill the baby in her womb, or even kill her. He said, we'll take her away, but she prayed to Narad Rishi, I want to always remain pregnant. As long as my husband does not return from austerities, let me stay pregnant, and then I will have my baby. So he gave her the boon that Prahlad Maharaj, your son, he will stay in your womb until your husband returns. So Hiranyakashipu did austerity for 60,000 years, and when he returned, then Kayadu said, I want to go back to my demon husband. So she was still attached. She could have said, now I've been with you for 60,000 years, let me have my child here, let me become a brahmacharini. But she wanted, I'll go back to my demon husband. And when she went back to her demon husband, what happened? That Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Prahlad in every different way. The elephant, he tried to crush him, throw him off the cliff, burn him in fire, burn him in oil, have them tear him apart with different weapons. And then nothing worked, so then he said, oh dear wife, please cook some nice food and tell Prahlad, now everything is forgiven, please come and let's eat together. And he said, make nice food and then poison it with a deadly poison, enough to kill like 10,000 elephants. Such poison is there. And feed that to Prahlad. Prahlad Maharaj didn't know, of course he knew, but he has so much devotion in Krishna that Krishna is always protecting him. Even when they threw him in snakes, the snakes didn't harm him, because he is a Shuddha Bhakta. Why should Maya, material nature, in the form of snake or elephant, or any, like when thrown off the cliff or in the fire, she won't harm because he's a pure devotee. How can she harm Prahlad? Even Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Prahlad through Holi. The origin of Holi is the auntie of Prahlad. Do you know this story? Okay, then we'll tell this story. The Holika, the origin of the Holi pastime. Nowadays everyone is throwing colors and embracing and kissing. But real Holi means Hiranyakashipu, the original story of Holi is that Hiranyakashipu wanted to kill Prahlad and everything else failed. So he thought, now I'll call my sister. So his sister had the boon that she could not be burnt by fire. She had done great austerity and gotten that boon. So she said, okay, I'll have a plan. What we'll do is we'll sit in a temple of sandal. And we'll make it very full of like such things that make it very quickly burn. And I'll sit with him on my lap, say, oh, now it's Praneem, now let's do some Vishnu Puja. Let's sit together in the sandal temple and we'll worship Vishnu all night. So she thought, I'll have him in my lap and then I'll give a signal all outside and they'll have no door out and I'll burn the whole palace down and then Prahlad will be to ash. So they tried that, but what happened is she herself became ash. Prahlad remained fine. So Kali or material nature, if you are Bhakta, she will protect you like her own infant. Actually, it is said that the real devotee, when he takes birth, the earth rejoices because she is thinking, oh, my real son is now born. Because the earth can have two kinds of sons, but the parent can also reject the child. You are not worthy of being my son, I reject you. So then, when a demon is born, like Narakasur was born, then he is always... what happened with Narakasur? He wanted to acquire all the different women and enjoy them. Even the princesses. And he killed so many kings and princes and acquired them all and enjoyed them. So he's not the real son. She rejected him. But the real son is the devotee. And she will never harm the devotee. That's why Prahlad could not be harmed. So the Holika could not harm him. And then Kayadu, the own mother, she should have stayed with Narad Rishi. But she went back to her husband and her husband said, now kill your son. Because even though he is your son and my son, he is against us. He is like an axe that is meant to cut down our dynasty. That if you attack people's ideology, their belief system, they become very violent against you. That's why when people are fighting, it's like capitalism and communism, monarchy and, democracy. People are fighting over these things. Protestant, Catholic, Muslim, Hindu, Muslim, Christian. Because you have a different belief than me, so I have to fight you and defeat you. So therefore, he's saying, he is trying to change our philosophy of life, that we should only eat, sleep and be merry. Everything that we do, that's why it's dharma. That Hiranyakashipu taught dharma. But only that dharma by which we can enjoy more in this world. Nothing to do with God. Only we'll do some external function so that we'll get some pious merits and that we'll enjoy more in this world. Dharma for artha, artha for kam. That we do dharma so we can get wealth. We get wealth, which is artha. Dharma artha. And we get wealth for kam, so we can enjoy as much as possible. That was the only purpose of their dharma. That's why Bhagavatam says, dharma projita kaitava, give it up. This is completely useless. It's cheating. And that's why Krishna tells Arjuna, we came in this direction, but I thought we'd go in another direction. We're finished now, I think. But tomorrow we'll talk about Putana and Aristasur and the different demons. And how they represent the different kinds of cheaters who come to try and anyhow take you away from the path of true auspiciousness. So Krishna says to Arjuna, Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nisraigunya Bhavarjuna Nirdvando Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. That why did Vyasadeva manifest the Bhagavatam? Because the Bhagavatam is the Paramahamsa Samhita, where there is proper discrimination. And all the other Traigunya Vishaya Veda, that everything he wrote before that, he wasn't satisfied because he was ultimately involved in some type of mischievous, that he wasn't giving the ultimate truth. It's like if I take, I don't know if we want to go into this example, maybe we'll talk about it more tomorrow, but a short example. You have many blind men, okay, and they find they're walking along together and they find an elephant standing. You heard this example. One blind man, what is this? They don't know what it is. It's like very big structure. So one man, he grabs like the leg, one big leg. One man grabs the tail. One man grabs the horn. One man grabs the trunk. And then they begin to argue that, this is like some type of rope, or like the tail, or this is some type of like serpent or something. I don't know what this is. Some type of pillar. This is some type of weapon, the tusk. So the problem is that not that the elephant has a tail or a trunk or a tusk or a leg or the broadside. They thought maybe this is a wall. These are factual. The problem is that when you say that is the whole, so the parts, all the different Traigunya, they are there for a reason. We need to follow them, we need to accept them, have them for something. But the problem comes when we think that is Sam Bonum, that is the absolute truth, that is everything. The whole elephant, but we are blind so we cannot see it. So we'll just end on this point today, is that Krishna said, you must give up this. Arjuna was preaching Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Oh Krishna, I don't want to fight. This is against Dharma. He said, you are foolish. You don't know what it means to kill. You are thinking, I will kill, but you don't know the soul cannot be killed. You are not in Atma Dharma. You are in Deya Buddhi. Material consciousness, thinking I am the body and the family is mine and I can't harm them. But because they are against real Dharma, then it is your Dharma to cut them. You have to perform Chindanti. You have to cut that false conception. Krishna is saying, that is your Dharma. You do that for me. That is Dharma. Sarva Dharman Pradityaja. Give up all your conceptions of what is Dharma, Dharma. Give it up. Sarva Dharman Pradityaja. Mame kam sharanam braja. Come to me only. Don't follow Dharma Parojita. You follow real Dharma by what I am telling you to do. What Krishna tells you, what Gurudev tells you, that is your Dharma. No need to follow all these other different things. That's why Priyad Bhakta Rasamrita Sindhu says, don't study so many different books and hear from so many different people. This will only confuse your mind. You follow your Guru Varga, what Gurudev is given. Many people say, oh, we are not studying all these different things. We only hear Harikatha from Prabhuji. Oh, you haven't read this book, you haven't read this book. But they're not thinking, we've read Chaitanya Bhagavat, we've read Chaitanya Charitamrita, the whole Bhagavatam is finished, Ramananda Sambad finished, Krishna Ganades Dipika finished. We've done like 50 granthas, all with commentary from Sudha Vaishnav. This means real learning. The disciple, he sits at the feet of the master and he hears from him. That is Upanishad. Upanishad means sitting at the feet of the master and hearing receptively and submissively. And serving. If you want Upanishad or the Vedic knowledge, literally means Upanishad sitting nearby at the feet of the master. So independent study is also dangerous. So Krishna says, be my disciple in truth. Arjuna says, I am confused and I am now your disciple. I surrender unto you. Krishna says, yes, I accept you. So now the last thing I want to say is Prahlad Maharaj, just to conclude. Prahlad Maharaj says, Sunday and Market didn't give me this knowledge. Why did they not give it to me? Because Matirna Krishne Paratasvatova Mitobi Padyate Grihavratanam Adanta Gobi Vrishtam Mishram Punapunash Chardvita Chardvananam. They are like camels, they're always eating thorns, and that thorn is cutting their gum, and blood is coming out, and they are drinking their own blood and thinking, I am enjoying. So all this type of enjoyment in this world, you're only enjoying your own life energy. And it's only causing your mrityam, your death. So the camel example is given for illicit sexual relations with man or woman, doesn't matter. Man and man, woman, doesn't matter. This is like the camel enjoying the taste of his own blood by chewing thorns. And those persons, they are anda yatander upagiya manas tepisa tantriyam urudham nibada. The Gurudev said, you learn these 3 verses, otherwise I don't want to see your face. Like he would tell people to speak on Prahlad Charita. He said, learn these 3 verses. So we'll just finish with these 3 verses and we'll learn them soon. That Prabhuji had me memorize 80 verses of Prahlad Charita. He said, you learn this first. So these 3 verses are very important. The first one, Nate vidu svarta gatim hi vishnum durasayaye bahir artamanya antayantander upagiya manas tepisa tantriyam urudham nibada. That those who are turned away from the real nature of their true being, their sad dharma, nitya dharma, they're absorbed in something against the reality, against sat. They're in asat. Nate vidu svarta gatim. Then they can never turn back by the instructions of others, or by their own choice even, or by any form of advice. They won't. They are very stubborn. And what are they doing? They will say, what you are telling me is wrong. That you are a bad person and I have to attack you if you are telling me something against my belief. But what are they really doing for people? They are like blind men leading other blind men into a ditch where they're all suffering and dying. That's why the example is given of the well which is covered by beautiful grass and you fall inside it and there you die and you perish. There's another story we will tell tomorrow about that. But the next verse he says is this one, Matirna Krishne Paratasvatova. They'll never change their mati, their idea. People are so attached to my idea, I am right, my opinion, this is right. But we should learn that if I have some opinion and it's contrary to Gurudev's opinion and Shastra opinion, I reject it like stool. My opinion is bogus. Guru's opinion, Shastra opinion, that is correct. But people don't want to accept that. They think what Gurudev said that I like, I will accept. And what he says that I don't like, I will reject and I hide it. I will hide myself in the cave of my false ego. So then he said, you are like a camel. Prahlad Maharaj said, they can't teach me anything, they're blind men. So what is the only way they can be saved? Naisang matis tavad urukramangrim vinamahat pada rajobhishekam. That unless they take the dust or the water that is bathed the lotus feet of the Vaishnavas, means unless they become Sharanagat and they submissively surrender, and then they're taking this Bhakta Padaduli, Bhakta Padajal, Bhakta Bhuk Avashes, Itin Sadhanarbal. 3 things give great power for sadhan. We have to learn this verse also. All these different verses we hear, we have to learn them. So Bhakta Padaduli, the dust from the feet of a Vaishnava, Bhakta Padajal, the water that is bathed the feet of a Vaishnava, and Bhakta Padaduli, Padajal, and that thing which is tasted and left some remnants, prasad. These things give you great spiritual power, directly and also in the metaphorical sense. That one way is like directly you take the remnants, directly you bathe their feet. Why every day we take Abhishek, Charnamrita? Every day we take first thing, before water, before food. It said, Gurudev said many times, Prabhuji said, if you take some water or food before you take Charnamrita, it's like urine and stool. You first take the Charnamrita if you're Gurudev, the foot bath water if you're Gurudev. We actually bathe Gurudev, we bathe Thakurji. We bathe Shalagram, we bathe Giriraj, and we take that water, because without that our foolish, stupid mind cannot change. Bhaktisiddhanta said, every day beat your mind 100 times with the broom in the morning and 100 times with your shoes at night. Otherwise your stupid mind won't change. So how to change the stupid mind? You take the Abhishek and you surrender. Gurudev, I surrender to you. What your instruction is, I will accept that. What Sastra says, I will accept that. I will give up my stupid opinion. Prahlad Maharaj said, unless they follow this process of surrender to Guru, otherwise just by logic and arguments, they will never change. They must come under Sharanagati. And without Vina Mahat Pada Rajobhishekam, without Mahat Kripa Vina Kona Karya Siddhi Nai, Ihalok, Dushalok, Paralok, Koi Sugne. That you will not get any happiness, you will not get any good result until you have taken or received the mercy of the Mahat Kripa Vina. So we have to, that's why we are staying in the ashram under Prabhuji association. We're not independently going out here and there. We are under association, we are stable, we are fixed, and we are doing our sadhan bhakti. We don't care, the whole world may be against us, but we will not go 1 inch or 1 foot away from our proper dharma.
No compromise.
We will never compromise with dharma projita. Nowadays everyone is saying, they try so many different tricky ways to tell you to stop. People say, you are disturbing the people in the world, and they start to think that we are, Vaishnavas are very bad and very hateful people. Very discriminating. You're discriminating this way, discriminating that way. That you are disturbing, and this is bad for the preaching movement. So they'll try so many different tricky ways to try to get you to hide the reality, but unless we excavate, unless we go down, and we learn what are the negative things that we have to reject, and establish the pillar of Guru Vani, Gurudev's instructions, Sastra Vani, Atma Dharma, then we can never, we'll remain only Sahajya. Sahajya means you will, in the name of Krishna Bhakti, you are enjoying like the wretched person that's worse than the ordinary materialist, because you know the truth, but you are engaged like a pig. You know that what is Krishna Bhakti, you know everything, but here we are like a pig in stool. So therefore it's very dangerous. So we should pray together to Srila Gurudev, to Prabhuji, to Sastra Bhagavatam. We can learn what is this Paramahamsa Sanghita together. What is this, and what is the highest path we can follow together? Mahajan Jena Gata Pantaha. We follow the path that